Sandi Toksvig, and this is What the Dickens, the panel game that wanders around culture's lavish gallery, muttering things like, "Oh, a child could have painted that," and "Oh, look, they've gone over the edges." Our two captains are a comedian who's gone from a light lunch to supersizing, it's Sue Perkins, and a comedian who's gone from an ape that got lucky to a lab rat, Chris Addison. Sue's guest is a comedian who on May the 17th last year released a DVD of his stand-up show, Someone Likes Yoghurt, although it was removed from the shelves by May the 30th, and sadly it was past its sell-by date. It's Richard Herring. Chris's guest is a literary academic who is that rarest of Australians, a literary academic. It's Professor Germaine Greer. Right, the first round is 3 steps to heaven. Teams are shown 3 images, each a clue to a film, book, play or musical. 3 generous points are awarded if they can guess the answer from the devilish first picture, plunging to a single point for the stunningly simple 3rd clue. So Sue and Richard, you're going to start. Well, another satisfied Pizza Hut customer there, I think.
Looks like she's trying to drink from a well. She's either got a very long neck or a very long tongue. Either way, I'd quite like to meet her.
I think we probably need another photo there, I'm going to guess. Here is a number of waiters, and I can tell you it's in a Baghdad restaurant. The clue here is waiter, okay?
Waiting.
So let's have a look at the 2 pictures together.
Waiting for God.
Is it Wells Kitchen? Is it Waiting for Godot?
It is, absolutely
but how
right.
the hell
How is it waiting for God?
I don't know why, though.
The answer is Samuel Beckett's landmark play, Waiting for Godot. Now, I think we have to have a little look at the clues. One character in the play is called Pozzo, which, as linguists will tell you, is Italian for well.
Oh, I can't believe it.
The employees of the Baghdad restaurant earn their living by waiting. Let's have a look at the 3rd photo. Here is Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin giving what for to a couple of young dissidents, I think. Vladimir is one of the play's 2 time-killing main characters. So 2 points there to Sue and Richard. The play is all about 2 men hanging around waiting for Godot to arrive. They wait for one day, then another, but still nothing. And then, sure enough, 3 Godots turn up all at once. So, over to Chris and Germaine. Here is the first of your pictures.
Oh.
Any ideas?
Is it the Amy Winehouse story?
Do you want to see another photograph? There's Uri Geller, a man who could solve world hunger and cure cancer, but will still always be known as a spoon bender. And the clue here, I can tell you, is his supposed telepathic powers, okay? It's a book that has got that telepathic powers are very important.
I don't think I've ever read a book in which telepathic
let's put the 2 together.
powers
Let's
are
put the
very
first 2 together.
All right.
I know what's this.
What's the bit that when you... Well, look at that bit that the man...
nose?
Nose?
No.
The nose.
Nostril.
The nose of the wine. The nose.
Nose is very good.
Telepathic
it.
powers
So,
and nose.
the nose is very good, and the telepathic thing is very good. That's
Is it?
Have a look at this final visual clue. This is a purveyor of the fish dish, somewhat oddly known as Bombay duck. Okay, the clue, however, is Bombay.
Midnight's Children.
It absolutely is.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, of course. I was trying to remember if there was a novel called The Corksucker.
The answer is Midnight's Children, the Booker Prize-winning 1981 novel by Salman Rushdie, recently voted the Booker of all Bookers, and the story's narrator, Salim Sinai, is known by the nickname The Nose. He tells of the events after India's independence via his quest to reunite the children of the title, all of whom are imbued with telepathic powers, and Bombay, now known as Mumbai, is where the narrator is born. So you get 1 point. Well done. Not a big friend of yours, Germaine.
I've been forbidden by him, the champion of free speech, ever to speak about him again.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Did you like the book?
No. I've never said that before.
No.
That just popped out of my mouth. It's very... well, I dislike the book intensely because it is the only post-colonial novel. And all students who want to do post-colonial literature end up having to do Midnight's Children. And I can't understand the category. I say, I'm Australian. Is our literature colonial or post-colonial? Where does the post bit comes from, especially when you're writing in the language of the colonizer?
I tried to read it, I just thought it was dull.
Yes, I'd go with dull, and I have read it. But I did. If you talk about him, what, he'll put a mandrake root under your pillow, and you'll grow 7 ears or something.
No, he'll just do Herzlmann and remind me that, you know, the fatwa cost him a marriage or 2 or 3. I forget how many have gone under the chopper since then. And that
Wish
has
I
been...
had a fat one on me. It would be
Yeah,
a very
it's a
convenient
very
way of
good-
explaining why I failed to keep a girlfriend.
I love you. It's not
fat
it's not
one.
your fault. It's the bounty on my head.
Well, apparently the book took 5 years to write.
And 4 to read.
Yeah. The book's focal point is midnight, August the 15th, 1947, which saw the partition of India and the formation of Pakistan, an historic moment in the 20th century, as it created yet another team to thrash England at cricket. So I can tell you at the end of that round, Chris and Germaine have got 1 point, but in the lead are Sue and Richard with 2. Keep it up, keep it up. The second round is called Yes and I'm Mickey Mouse. The teams meet members of the public who share their names with characters from literature, film or song before trying to identify them via questions to which the answer can only be yes or no. And teams have got 90 seconds to cross-examine each mystery guest, after which they must take a guess at his or her identity. So Sue and Richard, let's meet your fictional namesake. Right, for the audience only, here is the fictional character with whom she shares her name. Oh, it's always an interesting moment to see whether there's any reaction.
Some nodding.
Bit of nodding.
Is it? Oh.
Sue and Richard, your minute and a half begins now.
Is it a contemporary book?
No.
Was it written in the 19th century?
Yes.
Okay. So is it?
Can I have your phone number?
Say no, say no.
Yes.
No, yes!
Is it American?
No.
Is it Scandinavian?
No.
Is it
British.
It's British?
Yes.
Richard got 1, yes.
Is
You
it a
hero?
woman?
Yes.
It is a woman.
Are you the hero of the book?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But we'll try for a genre.
A romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you written by George Eliot?
No.
Jane Austen?
No.
Oh God.
Mary Shelley.
No.
Yes, it's Frankenstein, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you have a romantic liaison?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Are you Kathy from Wuthering Heights? Earnshaw! Yes!
Talk about laughing.
Oh, it took us a while, and Richard got a date.
Very good. Yes, our mystery guest actually shares her name with Catherine Earnshaw, Emily Bronte's windswept leading lady from Wuthering Heights. So 2 points to Sue and Richard. Did your parents think it through? I mean, the name was Earnshaw already, so did they think...
Yeah, that I was named after the character.
You were?
Yeah.
So you made to read the book early on?
I read it when I was 15.
And did you like it?
I loved it when I was 15, and I reread it recently, and I just thought, get a grip. I don't know.
Were you a teenager and you locked yourself out? Mum, it's me, it's Gary, I've come home.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to Catherine Earnshaw. Emily Bronte, of course, wrote Wuthering Heights under the name Ellis Bell, and it's common in English literature for female writers to use male pseudonyms. For instance, I tend to use Ian McEwan. Emily Bronte's 2 elder sisters died in childhood, then her brother Bramwell, Anne and Emily herself all died within a year of each other, yet strangely, no one ever questioned Charlotte about all those life insurance policies. Chris and Germaine, let's meet your fictional namesake.
Yes, thank you.
Right, welcome to our second mystery guest, and for the audience only, here is the character from film with whom she shares her name. Oh, there's that bit of eye going on.
Oh dear.
Yes, it's Bambi. Okay, Chris and Germaine, your 90 seconds starts now.
So is it an American film?
Yes.
All right. Is it a recent American film?
No.
Are you Mary Poppins?
No.
No.
Can Richard have your phone number?
I can touch this one.
Is your name the title of the film?
No.
Are you the main character?
Yes.
Is it a black and white film?
At beginning.
Are you a scarecrow? Are you a lion? Are you made of tin? Are you a small dog? Are you a witch?
We need the whole name.
Dorothy Earnshaw.
Dorothy.
It's to do
Dorothy...
with the hurricane.
Dorothy Wind. Dorothy Twister. Dorothy
Storm.
Tornado.
Cyclone.
Dorothy Michael Fish.
Blower.
Dorothy Blower.
Dorothy Blower.
This has gone way beyond a yes-no round.
To hell.
Oh!
I'm going to hand it over to the other side.
Well, I'm guessing it's Dorothy Gale.
It is Dorothy yes, this lady shares her name with Dorothy Gale, the heroine from my favourite film, The Wizard of Oz. We would have got the Scarecrow, but Boris Johnson pulled out at the last minute. Were you born Dorothy Gale?
No.
What was no, you don't have to say yes or no to me.
No. No, I was married into it.
Did you see the film when it first came out?
Yes.
What did you think of it? Did you?
It was brilliant.
Yeah. Are you still fond of it?
Yes, very much.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. Yes. And where have you come? You've come quite a long way to be with us today, haven't you?
From Barnsley.
Yeah.
South Yorkshire.
And do people still remember the film? Do they still say, "Oh,
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
quite a lot were really interested when they knew I was coming.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Dorothy Gale.
For her. How did you do that?
Well, must have gone back to Kansas. There we are. I'm going to award Chris and Germaine 1 point because you got to the Dorothy part, but I'm going to give a spare point to Richard for getting the Gale. Dorothy lives with her uncle and aunt, and in the modern remake, they are forced to leave their Kansas home and settle in a farmhouse on the outskirts of the Emerald City. But sadly, they then buy a subprime mortgage and inadvertently bring down the Land of Oz economy. I can tell you that at the end of that round, Chris and Germaine have got 2 points, but in the lead are Sue and Richard with 5. Before we disappear in a cyclone of our own making, here is a little teaser for you at home. Which child star did MGM Studios originally want to cast as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz? We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to What the Dickens. Before the break, I asked you which child star did MGM Studios originally want to cast as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz? Anybody know?
Well, it's either Mickey Rooney or Shirley Temple, I would guess.
Shirley Temple, absolutely right. Oh, very good, very good. Next up, it's Love It or Loathe It. Our guests are invited to choose a subject or genre from the arts which either elevates them to untold heights or enshrouds them in a dark cloud of despair. However, they must attempt to both love and loathe it, the opposing team then deciding which opinion is true. So, Richard, you are in the dock, first of all.
Okay.
You need to choose a work that you're going to love and loathe. What have you chosen?
I've chosen the Angel of the North.
Angel of the North. OK, let's have a quick look. And are you going to start by loving or loathing?
I love it. It's a truly populist piece of art. I love when you're driving up the motorway, you get to Newcastle. It's kind of exciting landmark to see there kind of looming over the motorway, like it's kind of interactivity. You can people put the big Newcastle United football shirt on it. It's hilarious, but it's kind of nice that people could interact with it. The people of Newcastle have taken it to heart and love it there, even though there was some resistance to it to begin with. When you get close to it, it's a very imposing, incredible thing to get close to. It's just there's something just really beautiful and exciting about it. It made £1 million on Antiques Roadshow, just a tiny copy of it. Imagine how much that big one must be worth. It's incredible. No one in Newcastle's cut it down and turned it into scrap metal.
That sounds like love to me. Any questions to question his love for it?
Who made it?
I don't know his name.
Anthony Gormley is his name.
Well, I was going to say Anthony Gormley. It's the bloke who did the same one on the standing figures.
Who actually built it?
It's a load of Newcastle blokes got together.
The ship work.